So we had the State of the Nation address last week, which made things so hectic and crazy in town. You couldn't park anywhere. I probably had to walk like 30 minutes just to get to the office, ass sweating and all. But and there were some pointers that the president made about the property industry and what is expecting to happen for the next year or the next couple of years and how things are going to be affected in the industry. Obviously, he spoke about a lot of other things, but what we're going to be focusing on is what he said about the property market. So I'm going to give you a list of some of the most important points he made about the property market going forward in the next couple of years. Before we get into that though, so I'm busy making this move over to Johannesburg. I was supposed to have been able to do it last month. Didn't happen because some deals didn't close. So now I'm hoping to get it done by the end of this month. And if there's anything that I've learned over the last couple of weeks, because I've been putting so much pressure on myself, is that you can't do everything on your own. You can't do everything alone. A lot of the time we want to be independent and not need anybody and be able to take care of ourselves. But the truth is, and the fact is, that we can't always do it like that. Sometimes we do need help, but that help can make a massive difference and take a huge load off of your shoulders, no matter how small it might be. I was very fortunate enough to meet a bond originator who's from Cape Town, but he does 95% of his business in Johannesburg. And so after speaking to him, he gave me some advice, some pointers, and some people that I should chat to in Johannesburg about making the move and what areas that I should be targeting. I think the lesson out of this is realize that sometimes you do need people. It doesn't have to just be work related or career related, just life in general. Being alone all the time is not ideal for us as human beings. We need people that we can relate to. We need family that we can, and friends that we can share our stress and the crap that we deal with, that we can share that with them to take the load off, even if they don't even have the answers for us. Sometimes just having somebody listen to you is enough to make things a bit easier for you. Is enough for you to get a clearer mind so that you can deal with whatever you're going through and find a solution for it. So don't always look to do things by yourself. Sometimes the help can make a big difference. So I'm back at the office now. Got to be at Parkins again tomorrow morning. So coming back to the State of the Nation address and to the pointers that the president made regarding the property market, there were four very important points. Point number one was that the president's been paying a lot of attention, or giving a lot of attention, to the areas that have been making investors nervous about spending money in South Africa. One of the ways that he's addressed this is by dealing a lot and being very open with dealing with the private sector to raise funds and addressing some of these issues. And that brings us to point number two. Point number two is about the establishment of the National Infrastructure Fund, where 100 billion rand is going to be invested in revamping and revitalizing infrastructure in South Africa, things like new railways, new roads, better roads, hospitals, schools, and also very importantly the urgent need for student accommodation at universities and colleges right across the country. So for those of you that are looking for the next property to invest in, realize that our country is in urgent need of student accommodation at colleges and universities. So that could be something you could definitely take advantage of. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they're actually looking to put up more than 300,000 units for students. Point number three was about the establishment of new Human Settlement Development Bank or fund. And what that basically is the fund that's being put together to address the need for social housing in our country. So that's for those who've been living in shacks and townships for so many years, who are in serious need of basic housing. And we know that we've had a serious backlog of this over the last couple of years. So what he's doing to address this, every municipality that's going to be involved in this project is probably going to get a budget of around 30 billion rand each to make sure that this gets done right. Point number four is the one that I'm personally most excited about, and this is to make sure that South Africa is not being left behind because of the digital future of the world. And the aim is to make sure that young South Africans are skilled in areas like IoT, robotics and AI. And the reason why this particular point is so exciting for me personally is because in a previous video I spoke about how technology is changing, but how it's not only going to affect the property industry, but all other industries in general. Within the next 10 to 20 years, or let me say this, if you are in college right now, if you are in university right now, or if you've just started working in whatever industry right now, make sure that you are paying attention to where technology is changing and affecting the industry that you are working in. Because you don't want to wake up 10 to 10 years from now crying in your hands that you no longer need it. But there you go, guys. Those are the 4 most important points that were raised at the State of the Nation address regarding the property industry. If you found that this video was benefit to you, please like and subscribe for more videos like this, and share the video with at least one friend